Hi, and welcome back to
Inspired to Game. I'm Sean.
And I'm Lola. Today we are talking about Everdell Pearlbrook. So Pearlbrook is the next in the expansions that we have been playing through. If you have been with us from the beginning of the year, you know that we have had this intention to work through all the expansions in our Everdell Complete Collection. We have a video up for the Everdell overview and review of the base game, as well as Bellfaire, so you can check out those. We'll put the links in the description below. And today we have done one for Pearlbrook. What took us so long? We've been busy. Do you want to move it? It's just such a monstrosity. See, this is how we get our workout as board gamers. It's funny because we haven't gotten to this in a while, and it felt really good to get it back to the table. Mm-hmm. The wonderful thing about Everdell is it's such a gorgeous game, and it's so sweet, and it's got a really great theme. Now, what does Pearlbrook bring to the table? Before we get into a review of this expansion, we'll give you a very quick overview of how it plays. So what does Pearlbrook add to a game of Everdell? Well, first, it includes additional meeples. These are your frog ambassadors. Frog ambassadors can be used at new locations on the Pearlbrook board. They can go to river destinations or to the shoal. If they go to the shoal, they can pay a certain amount of items, such as resources and cards, to gain a pearl, or they can go to a river destination if they meet the requirements of that location. If they're the first one to go to that location, they get the pearl on top of the card and to reveal that card. If they're able to meet the requirements of the card, they can perform what's there, giving certain amount of resources over in order to get some certain advantage. If they can't, they can always return to that location at a later time when they can. Pearlbrook also includes wonders. Wonders take the place of basic events and require a huge amount of resources in order to build them. But when you do, you get a huge amount of victory points, what's indicated on the top of the wonder. Only one person can complete each wonder. When you complete it, you get to take it and remove it from the board and put it in your town. In addition to some new market cards and new forest locations, Pearlbrook also offers adornments. At the beginning of the game, each player will get 2 adornments that they can try to equip during the course of the game. Each one will cost 1 single pearl and will get various advantages, one that's immediate and one that will give additional endgame scoring points. Everything else plays just like a regular game of Everdell. So one of the things that I love about Pearlbrook to start off with is the pearls. Honestly, it's a really lovely resource. They're beautiful, and they're even concave on one side, flat on one side, so that they don't roll around your table. So they make really beautiful pearls, and they're a nice addition.
Yeah, and if you have the deluxe containers for them, it's a nice little half shell.
I also really loved the wonders. And they were really fun to go for.
Wonderful.
They were wonderful, yeah. And then they looked great too, so being able to take it and add it to your city was really fun, but it was really hard to get. Now the thing is the base game of Everdell always has felt to us really tight as far as resources go. So you want to build all the same things. You want to get that Evertree out or whatever great cards you have, but then to try to also go for a wonder, it's really, really difficult because they ask for a whole lot. Yeah. It has a lot of challenge to that. They also require pearls, and so you have to be going after those pearls at the same time.
Pearls themselves ask for a lot of resources.
Yes, in order to get them are tricky to get as well. And you need the pearls for the adornment cards. Now, the adornment cards are actually one of my favorite additions that Pearlbrook brings to the game, because everybody gets 2 at the start of the game, and you can fill one or both or neither, whatever you want, but it helps give you some focus for your game. So if you're the adornment that you got will give you lots of points for a certain kind of card that you accrue, well then you're going to want to try to focus on those cards if you can. So they give a really nice little bonus that's immediate when you play it, and then a nice bonus for your end game scoring. So I really like that part.
Yeah, unfortunately, if the if the deal isn't with you and you don't have those kind of cards, well, maybe you don't play that adornment, I guess. But
yeah, it still usually gives you something. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I usually like those kind of end game objectives because they give me some kind of direction to shoot for, and this game is no different, I guess.
Now, one thing that, didn't add a lot to the game for me was really the river destinations. So it was nice having that extra meeple. And so as far as that frog ambassador goes, you only get one, so everybody has one that you can use at those Pearlbrook locations. It's nice to go to those river destinations in the beginning when they have essentially a free pearl to get. When you can go there. You can only go to those places once you have a certain amount of those cards in your town, so it's not something you can do right away. You have to build up and work towards that. So it's nice getting those free pearls, but we don't find that we go to the river destinations a whole lot through the game, or that it really adds a whole lot to the game for us.
Yeah, I'm really usually playing very tight with my resources. I mean, even from the very beginning, you think, how am I going to build any of these cards? I've only got 2 workers. I can't gather any of these resources. And then things just suddenly seem to explode. But even then, I was actually surprised that on average, I do still get those 15 cards out into my city under Pearlbrook. And I thought for sure with trying to get pearls that I would not. And it's interesting that it does still work out that we can still get those out and still get a few pearls here and there.
Yeah, because that's one of the things we were actually concerned about, because the game itself is so tight. Like, it's so tight for resources, and you always feel like, oh, how can I accomplish this? How can I do this? At least for the first half of the game. It loosens up quite a lot after your final production in autumn and having so many more workers and things start to flow. But we weren't sure how this would play because of that, because the wonders require so much more. Getting pearls requires so much more as well. But it did work out. We were both able to usually get a wonder out, as well as doing our full complement for our town that we usually get. So it actually is nicely balanced.
Now, I don't know if we want to mention at this point that so far we have just played these expansions one at a time. We haven't tried mixing or matching any of them. We are thinking that when we do get to that point, that Bellfaire with that market is going to allow us to get some more resources, and at that point maybe we'll get into using the Pearlbrook River destinations a bit more. Maybe,
yeah. So we will do a review of each of the expansions, and we're going to play them individually to do that, but then at the end we hope to give you an idea of what we found to be the most useful and the most essential expansions, as well as the ones we just liked the most as well. But it will be fun to combine them and see how they work together as well.
Yeah, I keep on thinking, if we were to add Pearlbrook and New Leaf and Spirecrest, and they all have additional boards that stick to different parts, like we don't have a table big enough.
Yeah, it does
we might have to play on the floor.
It does require table space. And so in conclusion, the main thing is we enjoyed Pearlbrook. I really like the adornments, I really like the wonders, I like the pearls, and it's fun having that new location. I do not think that this is an essential expansion to get. It was fun and it was good. But still nothing spectacular, nothing that is like, oh my goodness, you must play Everdell with Pearlbrook sort of a thing. But it was
some
good.
Of the extra characters, and of course their companion locations or constructions, I guess I should say, the critters and constructions, are interesting, but they specifically require Pearlbrook. There's a pirate ship and a pirate. You can send the pirate ship to a neighboring town and you get resources and victory points based on how many pearls they have. So unfortunately you can't pull them into a different part of the game unless you're playing with Pearlbrooks.
Thank you so much for watching this video today.
If you've enjoyed what we've put together here, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, tell your friends.
And as always, happy gaming, folks.
You're hogging the microphone. Do you want me to tweak it so it aims more at you?
I think it's fine. I think I'm louder than you are. Hi, and welcome back to
Inspired to Game. I'm Sean.
And I'm Lola. Yep, that's it. Before we get into a review of this expansion, So what does Pearlbrook add to a game of Everdell? We're going to talk about this expansion today. No, that's not what I'm going to say. Another addition to the game is... I feel like it's never going to be any better. Another addition to the game is wonders. These... See? It's just never going to get better. So now will just be the coming back parts. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo, doodle-doo. From there... Thank you so much for watching today.
Yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like and let everybody know that you're into us.
That's asking a lot.
Why you no subscribe?
Oh.